figured out. And then we will get to drawing. It's been a week. Took a week off from streaming. And we're going to hop right back in. Going to take me a little bit to get warmed up, I'm sure. So let me get to our vertical chat. I need something to drink. Let's pop out this vertical chat. Boom, we are cooking. All right. What's up, pro? Man, that's a pretty quick turnout. What's the time? 1 minute, 25 seconds. Your boy is cruising. All right. Trying to get this set up for us here on the horizontal. This. All right, so that looks pretty good, something like that. Which way do we gotta go here? There we go. Now we cooking. Pro, how have you been? What's been up with you? Anything interesting? You been doing any cool stuff? We're also be going vertical. We're also streaming vertical if you wanna come hang out there as well. Like a minute before that because the message. That's true. I wasn't counting the buffer time. But you are correct. You are correct, my dear pro. My friend pro. How are you? How are things? What's been up? Anything new? How you feeling? How's your week? I hope you're well. All right. Well, that's good to hear. Well, it's nice to have you back. Glad you're well. Oh, that's very cool. Meta, is that your VR setup? If you're just joining us, be sure and like the stream up here and give us a subscribe. All right, let's cook. So I'm just getting you warmed up, so be patient with me. Okay, something like that. You know, we want to be able to get these drawings done fast with the least amount of lines, you know, and still kind of get the point across. And as we get going, I'll get warmed up and I'll be able to get these drawings a little faster, maybe get them done with a less amount of lines. See, this leg kind of goes in and then out like this. And this one's definitely much more straight. I didn't really nail that, but let's grab some of these shadows. Okay, so this whole arm here is in shadow, something like that. What's up, Strugabuggo? How you been? Been a minute. That's your favorite game on VR right now? That's pretty cool. What's up, David? Daver the Gamer, how are you? Hello. How is everyone doing today? Thanks for joining me. It's nice to have some friends around in my sketchbook. Okay. See, we're still working on some of these areas, but you know, as you draw more, like drawing art is like a numbers game. You don't, like people call talent, but talent is really just time. You know, the more time you spend drawing, the better you get at drawing, you know. So I'm just trying to spend some time with these drawings. I'm gonna try to draw fast, and uh, so we can just kind of get better at drawing, you know. And it's not about doing the perfect picture, you know. We're just trying to do a picture, if that makes sense, you know. So I want to get, and part of this kind of process is you have to practice, you know, not judging yourself. It's real easy to kind of like stop yourself constantly when you're trying to be creative, because your instincts will say, hey, that's not perfect, or that's not like the drawing I saw on the internet, or whatever it is, or that's not exactly like the picture I'm looking at. Whatever your little voice will say, you know. But part of this style of drawing is kind of practicing telling that little voice to take a seat. I'm in the middle of doing something, you know. And I also think like they look cool. Just dropping by to say hello. Well, thanks, Struggo. It's always nice to see you. Thanks for the encouragement. Oh, I'm glad you found your notebook, Pro. What's up, Megan? What up, my gal? How are ya? What's up, Peyton? How are y'all? Welcome to the stream. Be sure and like the stream here. My guys and gals and my non-binary pals, my returning friends and family, be sure and like the stream so we can get some more of our friends and our crew back in here. They won't know. If we don't hit like, they won't be here to show up and hang out with us. And the more the merrier, you know? How have y'all been? I took a week off from streaming. I was doing a lot of music with my spare time. And I didn't want to get burnt out. So I took a little break. But now we back. And we're here to do some cooking. How are y'all doing? What's up, Easy? What's up? Jalaria Rainey? That's a beautiful name. Jalaria Rainey? That is beautiful. Thanks for the love in the chat. How is everyone today? Are you an artist? Are you into creative stuff? Do you like art and things of that such? Things of that such. Things such as? Sound like that meme of that model. How's that look? Let's try to maybe like imply a little bit of a face here or something. Alright, that's our first two of the stream. What do we think? Can y'all see these figures? What's up, Vaccinator? Megan, how you been? It's been a little while. Do you do anything else with your fine motor skills, or is drawing enough? I'm actually a guitarist. I'm a film director. I'm a photographer. I do all kind of creative things. Vaccinator 1, thanks for asking. What about you? Are you an artist? Do you do any kind of creative stuff? If you look up my name, you can see my name here wherever it is. You could probably Google me in the word director, the word artist, and see some more of my work. But yeah, you could also look up I have some songs on Spotify. I have films out on Tubi and Amazon Prime. I do lots of different kinds of work. Thanks for asking, by the way. Pro, what's the story with the notebook? Dang, that's a lot of stuff. Well, thanks for noticing, Megan. You misread that, big dog. I meant, what do you do to hone in your fine motor skills? Oh, I'm sorry, my guy. What else do I do? Oh, you want to know about some exercises? Okay, so check this out. That's a very good question, Vaccinator. So check this out. This is what we want to do. So, like, first thing you want to do is forget the details, you know? So here's a good example. First thing we do, a lot of people, and you know, I get this question. We did on this So like the first thing people do when they start to draw is you hold this like a pencil, right? And you put the pencil down and you go, you kind of do this sketchy back and forth thing, you know? And the first thing we usually draw is like an eye or something. And you see how I'm doing this sketchy back and forth thing? And I've drawn a million eyes this way. So I'm gonna be able to, but like that's how we usually start, like the sketchy thing. And we also like pick our pencil up. So it's a lot of this like this. This is how people start to draw, okay? And I'm gonna say, no, don't do that. Don't do that. There's a time and a place to do that kind of drawing, but don't do that. Don't do that. What I would do is like if you write your name, like let's say my name is Name, okay? And if you write a name in print, you write it like this, okay? And then you wouldn't write the name like this, you know? Does that make sense, Vaccinator? So the first thing we're just focusing on is line quality. We want to do a line that's fun and comfortable that doesn't feel stressed. Because look how this looks, and then look how stressed out this looks. Does that make sense? Can you draw me, please? Heck yeah, I can, Evelyn. That's a beautiful name, Evelyn. That's my grandmother's name. Don't we all do this? Yeah, we do, but we want to break that habit. All right, so check this out, Vaccinator 1. Now what we want to do is, even though that this is the best way to do it, this here and not this, let's take that to another level. Let's do it in script. So let's take the word name and let's do it in script. So like when you do, oh, I guess N is a tough one, but you do like an N like this and then an A and then something like that, right? Like that's how you would write. You see what I'm saying? So not this, closer to this, but even more this, okay? So I know we don't use cursive anymore. So forget that we're even writing words, but just kind of emulate that kind of feeling, right? Does that make sense, chat? Is everybody with me? So if we follow the whole thing, where we started was here. You know how people kind of do this little sketchy thing when they're drawing. I'm gonna draw an eye like this. Okay, and where we ended was here. Okay, so neither one of these look like an eye, but one thing I can tell you is these lines, they look stressed out and uncomfortable. These lines, these things that draw from signature or from cursive, from script, they feel comfortable and they're fun to look at, right? So this is what I would do. I want you to use a little bit of pareidolia in your drawing, okay? So you're gonna ask the audience to meet you halfway. So instead of drawing an eye like this, do it like this. Okay, I don't know what we just drew there, right? Let's get a nice clean sheet of paper so it makes more sense. There's a magic in just putting, oh, my pen just died. There's a magic in just putting a scribble, okay? Now, I can tell you right now, I'm not sure if that looks like an eyeball or anything yet, right? But if we take that process and we just do another one here, do they start to look like eyes? Right? So I'm gonna do the same exact, just kind of scribble, okay? And I'm gonna do another one right here where a nose should be. All right, and do you see how your imagination starts to build a face here? You know, and the question is, how much of it is it me doing this, and how much of this is this image being built in your imagination? And I think that's true of all art. But in order to get this done, you have to like put down a certain amount of lines that allow the audience to kind of find the drawing along with you. So let's just continue this process where a mouth might be. And look at that. Do you see the face here? Not only that, the beauty of it is there's probably a million different ways to see this face. Are you still with me, Vaccinator? Pro says I may or not be playing Waltz of the Wizard while listening live. I respect it. Y'all are following? So then from here, you can maybe add some darkness where the pupils would be, add some darkness where some nostrils should be, and add some darkness where some lips come together, and boom, we've got ourselves a face. What's up, Zentangle? If you don't teach art professionally already, you should consider it, dude. You sound like me up in front of my history class, but with less talking about war. Yes, I'm following. Well, that's cool, Vaccinator. How kind of you, dude. First off, Vaccinator, thanks for coming in here and chatting with me and being positive. That's very nice of you. So many people come in here and they just in chat and they can say negative things, and I just want to appreciate that, and I try to call that out anytime I see that. You came in here with a positive attitude. You haven't had nothing but positive things to say. You've been here communicating and playing in the chat, and I just want to point that out. Thanks for being a positive energy and a positive guy, a positive person. Sorry to misgender you, but I appreciate you out there doing that and giving that kind of energy. That's super cool of you. Do me a favor, subscribe, hang out, come be in the chat often, man. I sure appreciate that kind of energy here. Not only that, if you like that, let me show you this little magic trick. So, some people are right-handed, some people are left-handed, obviously. You're a history teacher, brother. Of course, my guy. That's very cool. I mean, I got that you were a history teacher. I'm not an art teacher. I'm an artist. But I'm streaming, so like we're learning right now. Your art's so amazing and awesome. Thanks, Zentangle. That's very sweet of you to say. I appreciate y'all being so nice. That's so cool. Can I draw a dragon? Hell yeah, I can draw a dragon. Y'all be sure and like the stream here and subscribe to the channel. So Vaccinated, check this little thing out. My oldest brother was left-handed. My middle brother was right-handed. So I was raised both. I can draw, so check this out. So if we take this little thing where I was saying you could just draw a scribble, so I can do it with two hands at one time. What do we think about that? Sorry, I'm not talking. What do you think about that? Yeah, we'll do another dragon. How do you do that so naturally? It's amazing. When I try to draw, I look like a tiny kindergartner. Well, it just takes some practice, you know. Talent is a magic trick. You know, people think that talent is something that maybe you're just born with or that you just have. But what talent is time. Talent equals time. You know. So if you can spend time with something. Oh, what's going on? Elite just rated with 5 Elite. It's been a little while, my guy. How you been? Nice to have you around. What's been up, my dude? How's the grinding going? I appreciate you taking time to pop over and doing some rating and things like that. That's cool of you. Actually, yeah, boy, what type of art do you call it, Ema? Well, I would call this, okay, so this is just, let's call it contour or gesture or expressive. These are different ways that we describe this style of it, or we could call it like endless line or single line. You know, these are a couple different ways people call this style, but I want you to remember that talent equals time. And if you have time, you can be talented. That's all it takes. You need to spend time doing something. You know, I'll show you my book here. And this is my book for, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. Let me show you what I've done in 2 weeks. So what I'm doing is I just want to spend time with art. I don't want to draw the most perfect pictures. They don't have to be amazing. They don't have to be realistic. They just need to exist, you know, just like me and you. This is how you become natural at it, you know? John, learn ambidextrous is pretty interesting. Thanks. Learned ambidextrous is pretty interesting. Thanks, Vaccinator, for noticing. You know, as they say, practice makes perfect. Oh, okay, my apology. No, what are you apologizing for? Okay, so check this out. So the idea is just to spend time with drawing, you know, because time equals talent. Remember, not only does time equal talent, where's my notes at? Time equals talent, but time also equals love. Okay? You spend time with something, it's because you love it. And you want to show something, you want to prove to yourself if you really love something, you'll spend time with it. And if you spend time with something, you're going to get better at it. By getting better at something, you can be talented. And this is a lesson in life. If you want to show somebody you love them, you can spend time getting better at being in relationships. You can get better at being a son, a father, an artist, a human being, a mathematician, a history teacher. You just got to spend time with it. And that's all we do. That's all this book is just spending time with art, because I love it and I'm talented. And that's time. That's time. You know. And I think that's true of life. You know, you could just put the time in. If you love somebody, you love relationships, things are important to you in life, give them some time. Give them some time. What's this say? Elite says, starting to think about possibly finishing on the watch. You're possibly starting to think about possibly approaching. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours. But I would say talent is also something that just takes time. Talent and skill are pretty much the same thing, you know? Talent's kind of a myth. Is it hard drawing with both hands? It's a little difficult. It's aggravating, but we'll talk about it a little more in just a second. Let me go through some more of these drawings. Dragon. All right, Megan, I promise I will draw the dragon. Yo, also do me a favor, like the stream and subscribe to the channel. I love how you keep on making these videos. If you see hate comments, you don't have many viewers, you're teaching people about. I don't get any hate comments. And like, you know, we said we don't get many viewers here, but like I got 10 thumbs up and we've been streaming for 20 minutes. Trying to get the subscription up to 1,000 subscribers, and we're almost at 700. So, you know, we get another 4 or 5 every day, and that's really cool. But thanks, Charlie. I appreciate you coming and hang around. And here's the deal. Even if I wasn't streaming, like, I love drawing, and I'm just going to be doing it. And if I can take y'all on this journey, and some people find it relaxing to watch the drawing, then that's a plus. So you're considering starting to possibly... Okay, I don't understand the leet speak, pro. You're speaking in a whole nother language now. Seriously considering maybe possibly getting to think about starting to imagine a world where the watch is nearly mostly complete. Okay, Elite, I think you got it figured out now. But yeah, my point is like, this is a book I've done in 2 weeks, you know, and it's just a bunch of drawings. Like if I draw a drawing and I'm like, hey, that piece is kind of weak, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna draw it a bunch over and over and over just so I can get better at it. Right now I'm currently working on anatomy, you know? So it's like how many different ways. And like some of it is just getting to know ink pens and markers and just spending time with it, you know? But check this out. Let's talk about ambidextrousness for a second. You know, I think you have to meet yourself in a spot on ambidextrousness. You know, a lot of people will try to do this thing where they'll, you know, if you write the word art, and I learned this from how Da Vinci's notebooks are. How are you so good at drawing people? I'm horrible at drawing people. Well, that's a good point. We saw those knockers. You saw them, Vaccinator? I try to get past them. I would love to see more people like you streaming. Thanks, Charlie. How are you so good at drawing people? Okay, so check this out. First off, we're going to talk about ambidextrousness, and then we'll talk about drawing people. Those are both great questions. So check this out. First off, What I learned by looking at Da Vinci's work is what you think is if you're going to write the word art, let's say, with your right hand, and now you want to write it with your left hand, you think you're going to write it like the same way, you know? And I have trouble with my left hand. You can see this is my weak hand, this is my strong hand. I guess they're both pretty ugly. But what I saw Da Vinci doing is when he's working in his notebook with his left hand or his right hand, and it feels more natural for me, he's doing it in opposites. You see, he's doing a mirrored movement. So that would be the first step, is writing in a mirrored fashion. You know, so instead of looking at, and you can see like the way my handwriting is different. How am I supposed to go upside down? Oh, Miles Morales. I see. Am I supposed to stand on my head, pro? So I think this would be the first step of like practicing doing ambidextrous art is don't do this. You know, see, we don't do, you know, this way and this way. You see, we have two different directions happening here, right? Does that make sense? Handwriting is not very good with either hand. Yeah, Megan wants a dragon. Megan has got a dragon before. This is not her first dragon request. Oh, everybody, be sure to we're streaming horizontally and vertically. If you want to check us out on the horizontal stream, you can see my artistic face. If you want to see my face, you can click on where it says Gabriel Saint Artist, and in the live streams we have a horizontal stream. There's also a camera on my face. If you're sick of looking at my face and you want to look at just the drawing in a HD quality, you can go to the vertical stream. Also, everybody who's hanging out with us currently, do me a favor and like the stream and subscribe to the channel. So right now, currently, we're talking about learning to be ambidextrous. So in the first part is these things I learned from Da Vinci's notebook. So if you look at Da Vinci's notebooks, so next thing we'll do is let's look at cursive. Even if you don't know cursive, you can move your pencil in a way or your ink pen in a way that you're doing cursive. All right, and you can do that with your left hand too. And so you kind of have tough times. And you see how the lines look different here? But if I can do that with both hands, you see, and now what I'm doing is I'm practicing ambidextrousness. So then if I want to draw a picture after a little bit of practice, you know, I mean, well, however detailed you want to get, but you know, and it's not great, but it's you know. Your hand. Okay, so check this out. So that's step one. Step two, I would say, is back to pareidolia. You know, so when we're drawing eyes, let's do this thing where we're gonna call imply. Do you know the word imply? So that's what we want to do. We want to imply when we're drawing. We don't want to define. We don't want to do details. So define. No. Details. No. It's not what we want. All right. Think about when you see an image in the clouds. Okay. How does a cloud look? Something like that. Think about when you see a cloud. All right. When you see an image in the clouds, you might see a dragon. You might see a bear. You might see an alligator. Think about all those things that you're able to see in clouds. So when you draw, first thing, you know this judo grip that we do where we grab a pencil and we get ready to write with it? Don't do that. Let's start from back here. Let's hold the pen a little further back, and let's think of it kind of like a paintbrush. So we lose a little bit of control here, okay? This is our right hand. We have so much control. Move back here, okay? So now you end up with a little bit less control. Are y'all following me, Zentangle? Vaccinator? Who was asking about the ambidextrousness? So hold it loose back here. So what happens is you lose a little bit of control by holding the pin here. So by giving up control here, I'm starting to make this hand feel like this hand. Because now, when I hold this pin at the back, and I don't have very much control of either pin now, you know, they start to equal out. So instead of this hand having all the control and this hand having no control, if I hold both the pins in kind of a painterly, artistic fashion like this from the back side of the pin, I don't have as much control, and both pins equal out. So I don't have a strong hand and a weak hand. I have two hands that I can just barely control, okay? So check this out. What I'll do is draw an eye with my left hand, but I'm not going to draw any, I'm not going to define it. I'm not going to draw any details. I'm only going to imply an eye, and I'm going to think of it like a cloud. So my left hand lets it imply an eye. Okay, does that look like an eye? I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Let's do the same thing with the right hand now. Now, see, there's a magic that'll happen here in your imagination. At some point, you will start to create the eye in your imagination. Because if you look, there's no eye here. It's just some scribbles. But there's an implication by the distance of the lines where they are near to each other. Right? So first part of doing art with both hands is giving up a little bit of control. What's up, Charlie? And then now when you get to the nostrils, we're just doing the same thing. Right? And again, part of the process is allowing yourself to work without all the control, where you're just kind of letting the lines and the imagination of the audience do some of the work. You know, and it's almost like sculpting, where every single line doesn't matter. It's just spend some time with it, and it'll start to become something, you know. All right, we got to get back to some some gesture drawings. My guys, my gals, my non-binary pals. Let's keep cooking. But I tell you what, I do love it when everybody's asking questions. It makes me feel like we're here for a reason. All right, give me just a second. Hot in here. Okay, all right. So who's still hanging out in the stream? Because I'm just going to keep cooking. No, I love the questions. Keep them coming. Love the questions. All right, so let's get back to, I'm going to get back to doing some gesture drawings. That's this drawing of people. So check this out. Zentangle, were you the one that asked me how to draw people? State testing, do you think knowing this will help me? I don't have any idea. Probably not, Charlie. Probably not. So check this out. Humans are made out of 3, I guess. It's really just anatomy. So like, if we look at a person here, I'm going to start with this like crude circle, and I'm going to say that that's her head, right? And even though I know it's not perfect, I'm just going to keep going. And then I'm going to draw another circle. And like, so this implies a head and shoulders, okay? So if I put a line right here, you know, I could draw a couple 2 lines here, and like, they don't have to be perfect, but you can see how I'm already implying. And again, the big thing is imply, you know. I'm not finishing the drawing. I'm not going through it. I'm forcing the audience to kind of meet me there. So the first thing is just kind of like finding these landmarks to imply. And then, you know, that's an upper body. So you see how we drew a head, two shoulders, you know, and then we kind of feel like we have a body. And then I'll do the arms the same way. So I'll draw a couple circles here to imply maybe some elbows. We'll just close those gaps. You know, and it just takes practice. And then same thing, like I like to draw the arm, this part kind of like a triangle, like an extended triangle. And then the hand, I kind of think of it like a loaf of bread. Does that make any sense? So we'll do the same thing here and kind of just draw a loaf of bread, you know? Does that make sense? Are you starting to see the thing? And this is because I'm implying this. You know, it's all about implying. Wow. But I'm not exactly drawing the thing. I'm just implying it. And then we have landmarks here. Your head is number 1, a landmark. Our shoulders are number 2. Our elbows are number 3, and our hands are number 4. You know, and we've got a nice cylindrical shape here, and like a triangle shape here. This is for the arms. And when we did the head, I just kind of did like that. You know. So you could just practice these kind of shapes. And then when we got to the torso, you see I didn't draw a torso. I just did this little thing here, you know? Does that make sense? So then if we're moving down to the bottom half, I like to like figure like, you know, if you're drawing somebody like we're drawing right now and they're you know, we have this little thing here. And I think that's a good practice, like getting a proportion like this, okay? Now if her shoulders are going this way, the most interesting thing would to make her hips go this way. You see what I'm saying? In opposition to each other, rather than them going both the same way. So her arms are going this way. So let's make her waist go this way. The way I'll do that is just draw a circle, okay? And that circle there needs to be a little bit narrower than the shoulders. And then once I have that circle there, if we're looking at this person from the front, let me finish this here. If we're looking at this person from the front, I'm going to draw a triangle. If we're looking at this person from the back, instead of a triangle, I'm going to draw a square. I'm going to just go boink. You see what I'm saying? Like the top of these two drawings are basically the same, but we put a triangle in the front of this one to show it's the front, and a square with a line in it to show it's the back. Does that make sense? So just for fun's sake, we're going to say this is the front of this person, okay? And all I did was just draw that same design, you know, and don't have to make it right. And then the next thing I'll do is we're going to find a landmark here. And what I do is like the outside of a person's thigh can just kind of be shaped like that. You know? What's up, Starlight? How are you? Thanks for joining us. Be sure and like the stream, subscribe. So we could do the same thing for the other side, right? And see, that's the time. And then let's find a landmark. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is the belly button, 6 is the waist, 7 is the triangle, 8 is this out thigh, 9 is the knees, and then we could kind of do like a calf here, or you can do the outside of the leg here, and then just draw like a Dorito, a tortilla chip for the foot. So remember, the hands are just a loaf of bread. That's a hand at the end of a wrist. Give it a bunch of fingers and a thumb, however you want, you know? But when you're drawing a foot, let's just make it into a tortilla chip. You know, you turn that into a leg however you want. You can define it, put little toes on it. You know? But a foot is just a Dorito. A hand is just a loaf of bread. You know? And that's all you got to do. Let the audience do the rest. You know? So then once you kind of got these proportions down, and if you look here, like you look how... The distance between the things here is usually like 7 or 8 heads, they usually say. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm 9 heads tall here. So we're in superhero territory. But if we make the head a little bigger, it might change it. But you want to find like these basic proportions here, like the distance between these lines. And then the trick is like knowing all that, letting go, and just kind of like seeing if you can do it without worrying about anything. Like, can we see a person there? Dorito. I did a little clown. You see this right here? Well, thank you, Zentangle. You're amazing too. What's up, Senpai? Oh, hello, Picasso. A Dorito would be a foot. How are you, Senpai artist? So let's do some more of those kind of like low stakes, like expressions like this. So it's like nothing matters. We're just gonna do some scribbles and like remember like none of it matters at this point. All it is a stick man with just a little bit more details, and if you could just kind of maybe try to start thinking about your stick people just a little bit. But I tell you what, the hardest part is getting past the first few drawings, because they're not gonna look good the first 1,000 times, and you're just gonna keep getting mad at yourself. Fine? What do you mean fine? What you mean, Senpai? I'm gonna turn this music down, huh? Is it too loud? How are you, Senpai? What you saying? Your art reminds me of Picasso's art. Well, thank you, Zentangle. I appreciate that. I've heard that before. That was a pretty big compliment, I think. But like the first thing is that when I draw the picture, the first thing my brain says is, you suck, and that's not what the head looks like. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you again soon. And the first thing you have to do is practice being nice to yourself and saying, it doesn't matter, let's keep cooking. And I'm going to say, that's a neck. And then my brain says, that's not what a neck looks like, you suck. And I'm like, I don't suck, I'm good at this. Just give me some time to cook. And then I put a couple shoulders here. And then my brain says, that voice in my back of my head is like saying, okay, maybe it's getting a little better. But like, it's still tough. Like convincing my brain that like, hey, eventually I'm going to turn this into a drawing. And it might not be a good one. It might not be the first time. It might not be the 1,000th time, but eventually I'm going to get to something and I'm going to be proud of it. And every time I start, I get that same voice that I'm sure everyone has that says, that's not it. That doesn't look good. That's not the perfect place. That's not how a hand looks. That's not how a body looks. Like, I know we all have those same voices, But if you learn to kind of quiet that voice, things start to happen in your scribbles, And look, sometimes you might say, that's easier said than done, but like we can sit here and play the cloud game like we do on stream, where I can just lay down some scribbles on a sheet of paper right here, and the audience can tell me if they see something, And 9 out of 10 times, somebody sees something in those scribbles. So if you can see something in random scribbles, then how much of the artwork is done by me and how much of the artwork is done in the viewer's imagination, Doing well with my thing. I'm just a bit tired. So I'm sorry that you're tired, Senpai. Practice trap, let's say. Oh, I feel you. Gotta give yourself some grace, Senpai. Got to take some time to practice. Make sure that you're eating and drinking and exercising, not just your mind, but also your body. And if you're exercising your body, then you got to do some time to exercise your mind. But yeah, you'll get through it. You'll get through it. Every day can't be your best day, We all have good days and bad days. That's how we know there is a such thing about good days and bad days. If all you had was good, productive days every single day, we'd have no idea what it even means to have a wonderful day. It's when you have those bad days, or maybe some days where you get exhausted, where you're like, oh man, I sure appreciate those nice days when I get them, you know? But I sure hope you start feeling better soon. Oh, see, that's not the greatest either. See, sometimes I messed up. Don't love that. But it's okay. I think one thing that I do notice that I do a lot, and that a lot of artists, like when you draw the top half of someone, it's easy to make it real long. And then what we always do, what I end up doing is like I make the second half, like if this is their upper half. When I start drawing their second half, I draw it too small, and it really should have been a little longer. And if you go too long on the bottom half, it feels a little more aesthetic and like you made a decision. So it's better to have legs that are too long, you see, than legs that are too short in a drawing. Because generally, when people make legs that are too long, it's like a fashion sketch. It's something that they've done on purpose. If you make legs that are too short, generally it looks like a mistake. Does that make sense? When you make art, what do you use to draw them, if you don't mind me asking? I use anything. I use anything. I just try different things. I've got, like, these are all the same thing. They're just different. I try to use the cheapest, easiest, most available things. I like just regular black pens, and even though they all look different, they're they're all basically just a regular black pen. So just find whatever pen that you like writing with the best, and find which one is always most available to you. Find which one is most convenient. The one that doesn't leak in your backpack. It doesn't. That's all. That doesn't smear in your bag. That's also like affordable. You know, I just use any of them. You know, and the beautiful thing about this is, check this out. You can use, if you just wet your finger, you can kind of shade with just a cheap ink pen, you know. But I'm just using a cheap ink pen. What I'm not using is these are ink pens. They're not roll ball like a Bic. I don't use Bic pens, although Bics do beautiful work. I've seen people do beautiful work. Narcissist doesn't understand that in his mind, by the way. I'm literally doing calisthenics chest arm movement. Well, good for you, senpai. I hope it all works out, man. That sounds fun. Well, good. Sounds like you're getting a good, what? It's hard to follow. What happens if you messed up with a pen? You just have to keep moving. Like, part of working with a pen is that when you mess up, you just have to move forward. So, like check this out. When I was drawing this picture, I drew the feet too short. You know? So let me show you. If you're doing an exercise, you're not trying to get a finished piece of art to entangle. The only reason I don't use a Sharpie Zentangle is because you can't paint on top of a Sharpie for some reason. Whatever ink is in a Sharpie, you can't paint over the top of it. Oh, sorry. But check this out. If you're drawing like this, okay, and you're drawing with an ink pen, just drawing with a pen, whatever you want to call it. I always call them ink pens. People make fun of me. All right, and I'm going to draw her shoulders here and her body. And then when I draw a leg, let's say I accidentally draw it too short, right? And I'm like, oh no, look, her leg is too short. Let's get that arm done right here. And like, oh no, that arm is too long. That leg is too short, you know? You see that? But here's the thing that you don't realize is that your drawing will forgive you. So just make the arm a little smaller there, you know? And then let's make that leg a little bit longer. You know, and then your imagination will help meet you halfway there. You know, and let's say we want to put her hand down like this, and I'm like, oh no, I changed my mind. I want her hand to go up. Well, let's just go up with it. You know. And then, like, even though we have this little drawing here, it's fine. It's fine. Let's just keep moving. You know, and I've decided, oh, her leg's going to go this way. And then I'm like, oh, no, I decided I want her leg to kind of come out this way, like this. You know? I think it's okay to kind of, like, make those mistakes on the paper, okay? I think it could be fine. And then especially if you can go back and you want to, like, bring out the decisions that you like with a little bit of shading, some of those mistakes, they kind of start to fade into the background, you know, and then you don't even care, you know. And then some of these mistakes here, they don't matter. Oh no, so that's one thing that working with a pen is you have to practice that. That's just as hard as people practice drawing. Practice patience. Practice patience. And also, like, you have to, there's no reason to get mad at yourself in art. There's so many other things in life where you, like, really have to do it right. You can't make any mistakes. But art isn't like that. Art is a thing where you can just have fun and scribble on a sheet of paper, and the end product is not as relevant as the process. You know, so you need to practice making art in a way where you don't get mad at yourself, because that's part of the art, is the exercise. Like, if you practice, like, hey, I don't want to make art that where I get mad at myself, make the decisions that push you into a place where you're having fun and you love the process, you love the art. And I also want to remind you, there's a difference between mad. No. You can be frustrated. All right? Because frustration equals go. Mad is stop. You know? But when you get frustrated, you can get better. And also, I want you to do things like this. If I could draw this picture and I could say in my mind, oh, I hate these mistakes. I hate this. I hate this. But don't use the word hate, especially not about art, not in your mind. That language that you speak to yourself with, you're going to start speaking to others with. So when it comes to art, you can teach yourself. Don't get mad. Don't say you hate. You can be frustrated. But here's the thing about bad drawings. Bad drawings teach you. Bad drawings teach good lessons. Bad drawings teach good lessons. So if you want to learn your good lessons, what's up, child? A chair? You gotta do bad drawings in order to teach yourself good lessons. If you're not doing bad drawings, you're not going to get to the good lessons. You love my handwriting? Well, that's wonderful. What a lovely thing of you to say. Well, my handwriting loves you. So remember, when you're working on art, don't put pressure on yourself. You can get frustrated, and you're going to know that frustration means go. As soon as you get frustrated with your art, that means you're about to learn something. You're about to get better. You have your brain is a flat surface. Think of it like this. Your brain is flat. Okay, this is your brain, okay? It's not the best brain. Okay, this is your brain, okay? Let's say we're looking down at our brain. All right? So your eyes would be here, maybe. Something creepy like that. Okay? So here's your brain. Should look a weirdo. Oh, what's up, Rusty? Changed everything back to my original stuff except for... Oh, I got you. Well, welcome back, Rusty. I didn't know who you were at first. Thanks for clearing that up. It's nice to have you back. Rusty, how have you been? So check this out. When you learn something new, you get these little wrinkles in your brain. Every time you learn something new, you get a little wrinkle in your brain, okay? And these wrinkles, they make you frustrated, okay? But these wrinkles, they also equal skill upgrade. Okay? So in order to get a skill upgrade in your brain, you got to get a wrinkle. In order to get a wrinkle, you got to get frustrated. Okay? And if you look at a stoplight, okay? It's a red light. Most people look at frustration like it's a red light, but it's not. It's green. Frustration means you're about to get a wrinkle in your brain. So when you're making art and you start to get frustrated, remember, you're about to get a skill upgrade. And that's why I'm saying, just as hard as it is to learn art, is you got to practice patience, and you got to do bad drawings to learn good lessons. So art is more taking place inside of your mind and inside of the viewer's mind. It has less to do with whatever's going on this sheet of paper. Don't forget that. Practice patience inside your mind when you're drawing. Tell yourself it's okay to draw bad. It's okay to draw something that's not wonderful, because you're learning, and every time you get frustrated, you're getting smarter. You're leveling up. So next time you think mad, don't think mad. Think frustrated. Okay? Because frustrated, that's what happens right before you start to level up. Level up. And it takes patience. Patience. You know? It takes love. And it takes apologies. And you're like, what the heck does apologies have to do with anything? And I'll tell you why. It's because this is what you do. Let's say we're going to write a story, okay? It doesn't matter. And let's draw a picture instead of writing a story, because that's what we're here for. I'm going to draw this picture, and I'm drawing a face. And my brain is already saying, that's not a face. My brain's already saying, that's not a face. That's not a face. I don't like that. I'm mad at myself. I got to remind myself, I'm just getting frustrated, okay? And I know that voice in my head that's telling me I'm not good enough, it has good intentions. It's trying to be nice to me, but now is not the time. And I can move on with my drawing, and sooner or later, my drawing may become something that I like, or that whatever it is. And at that point, I can tell myself, hey, look, I'm sorry that I tried to stop you before you got started. You know? And you can also say, hey, I'm sorry that I told you to shut up right now, Mr. Voice in my head, but I needed to do something. But it's okay to be a little bit in a disagreement with what's going on in your mind at times. It's okay to not know exactly where you're going, or if the drawing is there, or if it could be a writing. You could be writing a story. You could be drawing a picture. You could be dancing. It could be any kind of creative outlet. But you need to have patience, you need to have love, and you need to be able to tell yourself, I'm sorry. And all these three things, and it's not just these three things, but these three particular things that we're talking about, they'll help you everywhere in your life. If you can sit in a room with a sheet of paper and love patience, learn love, and learn how to say I'm sorry, then you'll learn those lessons that you can carry into the rest of your life. Hey, look at this, y'all. I appreciate you for saying kind things about my handwriting. Cat's name is Man. Cat equals man. Gato. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get some dinner. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Your cat's name is Taco. That's adorable. Be sure to like the stream and subscribe. I might stream again. The new thing, I took off last week, but here's the new thing. I'm streaming every day. Daily. Streams. Wait. So we be doing this every day, so stick around. And here, I'm going to leave y'all with this. If you're having a bad day, a bad week, bad month, maybe you're feeling depressed or you're feeling ill, maybe you're physically sick, I don't want you to forget that we end up with conflicts in life. You know, life is conflicts. If it wasn't for the conflicts that we have in life, I'm not even sure life would exist. But I want you to remember that art is something that makes the world better just because it exists in the world, okay? And you are the same way. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to make all the right decisions the first time. Just by existing in this world with us, you're making the world a better place. And art is the same way. Just because art is existing, the world is better. And I don't want you to forget that. So when you make art, I want you to think a little bit less about drawing this perfect picture. And I want you to think a little bit more about expressing yourself. I had a bad day, so I'm going to go scribble in my notebook. I'm having a tough time. I'm feeling sick. Maybe I'm depressed. There's so many ways that you can express yourself. It doesn't have to be a drawing. It could be a story. You could write a poem. You could write a book. You could go dance. You could sing. There's so many wonderful ways to express yourself. As a human, we've got all these great options to express ourselves. So when you do deal with conflicts in your life, I want you to remember that you don't have to take that conflict out on yourself. You don't take that conflict out on your family. And dude, we get conflict from everywhere, you know, from school, from life, from relationships, from work, from whatever it is. Sometimes we just deal with conflicts within ourselves because we're just sad or we're depressed or we're not feeling well. But you don't need to take that out on people around you. You don't need to take it out on your friends and family. You don't have to take it out at school. When you start feeling tough times or you start feeling big feelings, go write that next beautiful poem about it. Go start that great American novel about it. Go start an amazing painting about it. There's so amazing ways that you can express yourself through art. But what I don't want you to do is don't take it out on yourself. Don't take it out on yourself. Do not take it out on yourself. You are a superhero, and you have this unbelievable opportunity to express yourself through art. And we just happen to be in existence as humans where we have that superpower. You can go sit in a room with a sheet of paper and an ink pen, and you can transform your negative feelings into something positive. And that's where magic is. Magic is in the world, and it reveals itself to us through art. Okay, but you have to take the time to go express yourself to find it. And you can do that. So next time you do that, go take some time to express yourself in some kind of creative way. And you'll inspire other people. You'll feel better. If you're doing mental exercises, you're doing art. Art is an exercise like jogging. The more you do it, the mentally healthier you'll be. So don't forget, the world's a better place just because you exist. Just like the world's a better place just because art exists. So don't forget, I'm proud of you. I love you. You're becoming a better person and a better artist every day. Keep that up. The kitty cat's talking to us. But remember, you're not alone. There's a bunch of art communities like this all over the internet. So when you do feel those tough times, the answer is always the same. take it out on art. You can have conflicts, you can have bad days, you can deal with anything. If everybody takes all that negativity and all the conflict they deal with every day and they turned it into art, they took that negative energy and they turned it into something positive, we could literally make the world better. We can make the world a more positive place just by taking our negative feelings and turning them into something positive. And here's the deal, you can do this. We can all do this. We're all born with this amazing super talent. And when you're able to do this, when you give yourself permission to do this, you're going to give other people permission. And when people can see you doing this and it gives them permission, that's called inspiration. Now you're inspiring people. Think about that. All right. I appreciate y'all being here. I'm proud of you. Keep being you. We're going to do this every day. So I'll see you back here tomorrow. Zentangle, Rusty, appreciate y'all being here. Starlight, Charlie, Megan, Vaccinator. All right, I'm proud of you. Y'all, chat, hit me with the take it out on art. Take it out on art in the chat. You're amazing. Let me see in the chat, y'all. Pro just got back. We're getting out of here, Pro, but we'll see you again. We're going to start streaming every day. Thank y'all for being here. I'll see y'all next time. Peace. There we go. Words to live by.